Hi there, it's Lindsay. Today I'm bringing you guys a collab with Crazy Days and Deep South Homestead. So I've got some very special mail here from Wanda over at Crazy Days and Deep South Homestead and Danny with Deep South Homestead. They sent me 6 Cherokee Tan pumpkin seeds. So they were sending out these seeds. They were doing the Cherokee Tan and the Seminole seeds. I ended up with the Cherokee Tans, which I am super excited about. They are a rare seed that they were given these seeds by Mr. John. So thank you, Mr. John. He wanted them back in circulation, and I think he knew that Wanda and Danny could help a little bit. So he sent those over to Wanda and Danny to send out and have other people grow them. I think it's gonna be a great project. I've got 2 different areas that I'll be growing these this year just to see which works better. If you don't know much about the Cherokee Tan pumpkins, I'll keep wanting to say tomatoes. And I don't know, I think I just got tomato on the brain. Now, Danny and Wanda have a 6 video playlist on the Cherokee Tan pumpkins on their channel, and I will link that playlist down below and both of the channels that they have as well. But this video is a collaboration with a bunch of other homesteaders on YouTube who are also trying out this pumpkin to grow this year. The Pilgrims believe that the Native Americans showing them this pumpkin actually saved their lives through the winter, because supposedly that's all they were really able to eat, because these pumpkins keep for a year in storage. The Native Americans, while they were on the Trail of Tears, it said that the women sewed these into their clothing, sewed these into their clothing because they wanted to take that taste of home with them wherever they were going to go. They wanted to be able to have these and grow them. So I think that tells you kind of how important these pumpkins were to them. Anyway, they were sent these seeds by Mr. John to get back into circulation, like I said, but also they wanted to send them out because a friend of theirs passed away and her mother asked them to pay it forward, and this is one way that they're doing this. So Amy, this is for you. And I know that if I'm able to grow these and be successful, I'll be sending them out to all of you who'd like them as well. So I'll be paying it forward to Wanda and Danny. So thank you so much for the opportunity to grow this. I'm very, very excited to do so. There will be a playlist full of these videos, and you can look at the other ones as well, because there's several of us in different climates and grow zones. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about our climate and grow zone right now before I go head out and plant these. But we are in zone 7B. We're in Arkansas. Our climate in the summertime, which is when these will be growing primarily, is very hot and very humid. So we have a humid, hot climate. I'm going to do these, like I mentioned, in 2 different spots because I want to see what grows better, and if they like more attention, or if you can just throw them out in the yard and see what happens. These are very special. It's not that I'm taking them lightly, it's just that I know from their videos that they grow like 30 feet or more. So I know that I can probably plant a few seeds back here and a few seeds there and kind of get away with it. But I'm going to plant a few of these in our row garden out there to see what comes up. Now the row garden, I do pay attention to it. I don't ignore it, but it doesn't get as much love and attention and all that as this garden over here. So this is the kitchen garden. This is the garden that I'm in every single day. So I'll be planting these in our lettuce bed. I've weeded it already, and I've got some lettuce in there that I'll be pulling because it's starting to bolt. I'm just gonna plant these with it still in there, and I'm gonna eat that lettuce this week to get it out of the way. And then so when these start coming up, we'll be able to train them in the bed. I'm hoping I'll be able to run them back and forth, you know, in that bed. I think that bed's a 10 by 10. Is it a 10 by 10? What is it? 6 by 6? Okay. So that bed is a 6 by 6, so it's a little bit smaller than the growing area that Danny and Wanda were using last year. They were using a, you know, big, long, like row garden type bed. So I'm going to do that, so I make sure I have some to harvest. I'm Cross my fingers. I'll probably pay more attention to these than everything out there. And then I'm going to do them down here in this raised bed in the kitchen garden also, to just test it out. I know she wanted, there's probably somebody growing them on a trellis. She mentioned that you could grow them in a container or wherever you've got, just to see what happens. So it will be interesting to watch the other videos on the playlist and see how other people do it. As far as the soil, out in the row garden, the soil is clay soil pretty much. It holds moisture really well, so it's good for all that, but it's not mulched or anything. I don't have fertilizer out there, but I'll probably add some like worm tea and good stuff out there shortly, and we kind of need to fertilize this garden as well. We'll see what we add. We've been using blood and bone meal in these raised beds in the kitchen garden, and that's kind of what we've been fertilizing with, and we will continue to do so with that. So I may use 2 different fertilizers also, just to kind of see what happens and test these seeds out. These are supposed to be a very hardy pumpkin. There is one main root of the pumpkin, but every leaf like roots itself, like every 8 to 10 inches or so. It'll root itself back in the ground, so it doesn't have to rely on that first root for all the nutrients that it needs. It'll go all the way down the row or however you've got it. So it's supposed to be a pretty hardy pumpkin, so maybe it won't be difficult for me to grow here, but I'm excited to try, and I hope it goes really, really well. I'm going to grow them, and if I'm able to harvest them, I'll be doing several videos on like cooking them and all that, and I'll probably start my own playlist as well if it's successful. I'm crossing my fingers because I really want it to be. Thank you, Danny and Wanda at Deep South Homestead and Crazy Days, for sending these out and giving me this opportunity to grow with you this year. I do appreciate that. As well as Mr. John for originally giving them these seeds to send out and grow, and also for Amy's mom and Amy for that little pay it forward message. The first thing I had to do when I was planting these was weed this bed, and I had Dad's help to do this, which I'm glad I did. It was earlier this morning, but I had him help me out weeding this bed and getting it ready. We had radishes in here prior. They didn't end up coming up. There were just too many weeds and I didn't keep up with it. So we just pulled all the weeds out of here, and we'll be eating this lettuce, like I say, this week, and it'll come out of here too before these even sprout up. Now we're ready to get our plant on. We've got 6 seeds, so I'm gonna do 3 here, 2 or 3 over here in this little bed, and then out in the row garden. So here's our row garden. We've got a row coming up here. That's our last row. So I'm just going to move over a little bit and do one more row here with these Cherokee Tan pumpkin seeds. I'm not going to till a whole row here. I'm just going to till up a spot for each seed. I think that the soil's loose enough that it'll still root. It'll still root where the leaves are, like it's supposed to. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Stay tuned to see how these Cherokee Tan pumpkins turn out. I'll be doing updates along with my garden updates. I'll be adding these in and doing a little special thing there, so we'll see how they're growing and keep up with them. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, hit that like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any videos in the future, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. To see how these Cherokee pumpkin no, it's fine. I just said the wrong word.